Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Friday, so we're doing new releases. Yesterday I also had a new release because I got to see Candyman at a pre-screening event, so definitely go check out that review if you're interested in Candyman. But today we have two video on-demand releases, so these are releases that only went to on-demand services like Redbox, where I streamed this movie, or later on when I watch Vacation Friends, which is available on Hulu. But today, first, we're going to be talking about No Man of God. No Man of God was released in 2021. It was written by C. Robert Cargill and directed by Amber Seeley. And for those of you who don't know what this movie is about, a generalization with no spoilers is basically, it's about the Ted Bundy case. And if you don't know who Ted Bundy is, I barely know about it. I just kind of know about it because my ex-girlfriend's crazy about that kind of thing, so she would always tell me about it. He's a murderer, and he murdered, over 30 women and children. And it is about... This movie is about Ted Bundy and his kind of, FBI partner, per se, named Bill, who comes in to talk to him and tries to understand, what Ted Bundy's thinking. Does he think that he actually killed them? And it's a cool psychological thriller mystery kind of thing. Now, I will say from the get-go, if you don't like movies where it is just two people talking most of the time, you are unlikely to like this film. I also typically don't like movies that just have two characters that sit there and talk, but this one really had my attention because I was really watching it to learn more so than to entertain, which I think is important to know the difference between what you're watching a movie for, right? Like, if you're watching Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a good chance you just want to be entertained, but if you're watching a movie like this, it is, of course, to entertain, to waste time. You had an hour and 40 minutes, so you chose to watch the movie, so that means something. But also, for me, it was about learning about Ted Bundy and learning about Bill and how he got into Ted Bundy, because I think it's a cool thing to learn about, and obviously there are other ways to go about it, but that's why I chose this movie for today. There are other movies that came out today that I could have watched, but I chose this one because it's like, okay, cool, a little bit of education as well as entertainment, which I try to merge the two as much as possible. And this one definitely does have trueness in it. Like, there are definitely things that I know were true. I didn't see anything that I blatantly knew was false, so good for you. That does not at all mean that it is all true, because I don't know a whole lot about Ted Bundy. But, from my point of view, it looked all true, so that's good. But it is your typical kind of, biopic, where you watch a movie about somebody who's real. And for the most part, it's real, you like that, but really what you're watching it for is the characters, which is why there isn't a whole lot of action. There are plot points, but there isn't a whole lot of movement or crazy actions. And I think that will drive some audiences away. I think some audiences will look at that and be like, oh, why do I care about Elijah Wood and Luke Kirby sitting in a room talking? But I actually think it was really cool. I think the conversations were always forward-moving. They were definitely character-building conversations. I'm sure they didn't show us everything that happened, but it was nice to see the build, right? We started with kind of a normal kind of blanket relationship where they don't really know each other. They're trying to get to know each other, but of course Ted Bundy's not going to like him, and eventually they grow to get to know each other, and it's cool to kind of see that, of course, as is usual with a movie like this. So I did appreciate seeing that, and a lot of that does have to go to Elijah Wood and Luke Kirby here, who play fantastic characters. They are absolutely great. I think the acting here is what makes this movie, honestly, because if you put two other actors in the room, it might not have worked. I haven't seen Elijah Wood in a while, so it's nice to see him. I don't know who Luke Kirby is, but if he's popular already, good for you. But if he's not, this will make him popular. He was stunning in this movie. He, really quite horrifying. And that's what really makes this movie scary, is these two characters, one of which is absolutely messed up, and one of which is, kind of sort of going that direction, but, you don't really know. It's cool to see that duality, and I appreciated that in the film. But I think that a lot of it was lost in the camera work, where it was mostly just kind of focused on one of the characters while they were talking. And there were times where there was movement. It was nice to see the camera moving, or there was places where it was positioned in a weird angle that I thought was cool. But for the most part, it was just your regular, 1-2 shot, which is fine for a movie like this where it's a biopic and it almost is supposed to feel kind of, documentary-ish. But for the most part, I thought it worked. I think it was fine. It was a little boring in terms of the camera movements, and it was noticeably unnoticeable. So like that's kind of my problem. I'm like, oh, we're in the room with them and we're looking back and forth, and that's fine. But like, you know, it could have used some work. I think that the overall storyline is, while it's true, it's cool. It definitely is interesting. It's not like it's not interesting. I'm sitting here watching it like, okay, this is cool. I appreciate what we're doing with it. I like how we're actually getting to know Bill as well as Ted Bundy, because I feel like, and I don't know this for sure because I don't really watch a lot of Ted Bundy things, most Ted Bundy things probably focus on Ted Bundy and not the people around him. I appreciate that we focused on Bill more so than Ted Bundy actually in this, and getting to know him and how he felt and how he progressed with his kind of interactions with Ted here. So I thought that was really cool to get to see that. Overall, it's a good movie. Like, I had a good time watching it. I don't think it's quite perfect. I think that there definitely are some laggy, saggy parts where it's like, okay, we get it, let's move on. And the ending is cool, for sure. The ending was really cool. And I think that some audiences are not going to like it, but I think that it was really cool. It is a little frustrating. I can't talk about it, but like it's a little frustrating. And I think that's kind of the point. But I didn't like it just because I don't like feeling frustrated at the end of the movie. But I was like, okay, I see what they did there. It's kind of cool. A little annoyed about it, though. But for the most part, it's definitely worth a watch if you have a chance. I rented it on Redbox. You can rent it basically anywhere movies are rented. But I rented it on Redbox Online, which is a great service. If you haven't used it, definitely check out using it. It's free to use, except you have to pay for the movies. But it works for me. It was like $7, which I think is a fair price for the movie. I would have paid $7 for this. I would have liked to see it in the theater, actually. I think that would have been pretty cool, but it worked fine on my regular screen. It's not like it's something that you have to see in theaters, but I think it would be cool to see it in theater. But overall, very, very good movie. I enjoyed it. I had a good time and I learned something. All things that I'm looking forward to, but it's just kind of unoriginal and kind of blanket biopic. So I'm going to go ahead and give No Man of God a B+. Have you seen No Man of God? Let me know in the comments below if you have seen it. Have you not seen it? If you haven't seen it, are you going to see it? What did you like about it if you did see it? I want to know all these kind of things in the comments below. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. And please consider subscribing. It's a huge, huge help. You have no idea how much it helps. If you like the video, subscribe. It's just like, you know, why not? Hit that little red button. Helps me out. Helps you out because then you get to see content like this on your, you know, basically For You page, your recommended page on YouTube. And I do movie reviews and I do media reviews and all that kind of thing. So definitely consider subscribing because that's a huge, huge help. But thank you guys so much for watching the video, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.